Good evening, and welcome to Dan Bain's Sleepy Time Mumbles, a podcast you can't miss. I am Dan Bain, and every episode I improvise a low-stakes podcast for you to fall asleep to. Great to have you here this evening. Such a pleasure to be part of your bedtime ritual. If you would like to engage on a deeper way with the show, you can follow us on Facebook or Instagram. Links are in the show notes. I also have a cool newsletter that talks about cool and interesting things that I'm up to and that I only send once a month. That's a guarantee. You could sign up for that or follow us on any of those social medias, or you could leave a review on Apple Podcasts, but not now. They can wait. For now, put down your phones, turn off your screens, and close your eyes. Now it's time to be mumbled to sleep. Season 5, Episode 16, Xcom 2, War of the Chosen, Part 3. This is my follow-up to Xcom Chosen. Xcom Chosen? No. Xcom 2, War of the Chosen, Part 1, and Xcom 2, War of the Chosen, Part 3. Interestingly enough, Xcom 2, War of the Chosen, Part 2 is the most popular episode of Sleepy Time Mumbles. By far. I know why that is. And long-time listeners, you will too. It's because it was the final episode before my year-long hiatus, and as such sat there accumulating new listeners. But if one was to ignore that essential additional information, one could very easily just think, oh my gosh, there is a huge desire for these episodes. Now, nonetheless, there is a huge desire from me to complete the series. As you'll recall, in part 1, I discussed the plot of Xcom 2 War on the Chosen. In part 2, I discussed the mechanics of the strategy layer. So, the journeys of the Avenger, the building and increasing of your base, the entirety of the base mechanics. And all the flying about that you do outside of, so the strategic level of the game, yes, but this isn't the primary aspect of the game. And so this evening, in an attempt to wrap up this series so it doesn't go on and on forever, the strategic layer of Xcom 2 War of the Chosen. Now, essentially the strategic game boils down to this. You arrive in a mission zone with a number of operatives, between 4 and 6 operatives, and in a turn-based tactical way, you attempt to achieve your goals. Turn-based, what does that mean? Basically it means you will move all of your characters. Perhaps you'll take some specific actions, and then the enemy forces, the aliens, which we discussed in detail, I believe, in part 1, they will take their turn. So it alternates, like a board game, a game of chess or checkers or drafts, if you are not in America. A 2-player game, so to speak. That is both the simplicity and the complexity of it. Now, within that, obviously there are many, many permutations of things that can happen and things that you will be required to do. Let's let's start at the beginning. So to begin with, your soldiers are rookies to begin with, and that means they are just generic soldiers. They have no particular aptitude in any particular field or specialization. That's going to come later on. At the beginning, they will be armed with a kind of a burst fire machine gun and perhaps a fragmentation grenade. And so, actions that they can take. Each character can take 2 actions. Now, one of those actions will always be to move. Now you can, of course, forfeit to move, no requirement to move. It is not compulsory. But one of the 2 actions will always be to move. Now the second action can be to move again. Move kind of double your allocated distance. And then that would end that character's turn. So again, two things, a move and then a second move. Or a move and, for example, you could fire your little machine gun at a hostile force, an alien or advent trooper. You shoot it at them. Shoot. Throw your grenade, another possible action. Another couple of actions that you can take. Hunker down. So that means like you, if you think there's a high likelihood of you getting shot at in the opposing player's team turn, you can hunker down and increase your defense significantly. That's an option. Another option, go on to Overwatch. So Overwatch basically means instead of shooting on your turn, you go on to guard mode, and if an enemy crosses your line of sight on their turn, you'll take a shot. So you're forfeiting taking your action in your own turn and reserving it to potentially play it as an interrupt in your opponent's turn. Yeah, I think that's a really great way of describing it. There is a slight penalty to the percentage likelihood of that hitting, to kind of take into account that they are on the move. Okay. What else can you do? Let's say one of your companions, one of the other 4 to 6 units, friendly units, achieving the mission has been incapacitated in some way. You can pick them up. That's a free action to pick them up, and you can carry them around. Now, when you're carrying them, you can't do any other actions. All you can do when carrying someone is move. Why would you want to do this? Well, two reasons. One, maybe they're not dead, maybe they're just unconscious. So you don't want to leave them behind. Got to get to the evac zone, pick them up, carry them. Another possibility, they're bleeding out. So sometimes people will sustain an injury and they won't die, but they'll start bleeding out. And that means they have 3 or maybe 4 turns before they die. So you could, within that time, pick them up, get them to the evacuation zone, remove them, and keep them alive. Another possibility, they're dead, but they were carrying some good stuff. Now you don't want to abandon the good stuff, so you pick them up, bring their body back, and that will retain the good stuff. Other things you can do, evac. Evac is a free action. You just need to be in the evacuation zone. So you can, for example, double move into the evacuation zone and then rope out. So a rope drops from the Sky Ranger, which is the transport aircraft that drops you at your various mission sites. And there's a free action to rope out to the Sky Ranger, and you can rope out when you're carrying for example, carrying someone, etc. What else? Obviously, you can throw a grenade, same as shoot or you can use some item of equipment if using it requires an action. And finally, you can also you can also, for free, open and close doors. If you're standing adjacent to a door, you can open it, close it. If you're hidden, opening a door won't reveal you, whereas just running through it, the banging, I guess, of the door will reveal you. Okay, so that's the basic. That's everyone can do. People can also hack kind of computers and like unlock door. Everyone has a hacking statistic, and if you're next to something, you can attempt to hack it. But there's also a specialist class, literally called specialists, that can do that remotely. But actually, everyone can do it because it's the kind of thing that you need to be able to do it if you're on a mission and you haven't bought a specialist. Like, everyone has the ability to do it, only a specialist can do it remotely. Okay, so those are the actions that everyone can take through every mission. Now, as I mentioned, when you begin, you will only have access to a limited repertoire of weaponry, and you have no abilities other than those generic ones that everyone can do. However, as your soldiers successfully complete missions, they will level up, and every time they level up, they will have the opportunity to they get a new skill, or perk or special ability, whatever you want to call it. They also get some bonuses to their general stats. They get a bit better at shooting, whatever, less likely to panic, a couple more hit points, that sort of thing. But the main crux of developing them is equipment, which we'll talk about later, but primarily class-based abilities. So, as when soldiers receive their first upgrade, so move from a rookie to private? No, I don't know. From a rookie to whatever the first level is called, they get assigned into a character class. And in the base game, these are Ranger, which is kind of an aggressive close combat / stealth specialist. Mentioned those earlier. They are kind of a technician / support character. So either they have a remote drone that comes with them that they can use to either hack enemy robots and computer networks and that sort of thing, or they can use to buff other members of the team. Sharpshooter, which is armed with a heavy pistol and a sniper rifle, and can kind of move into a specialization with either as a gunslinger, so pistol specialization, or sniper specialization, so long range, hang out at the back, unerring accuracy. We all love a sniper, except in real life. I feel like that would be the worst. Okay. And the last one is the heavy, which is expert in kind of heavy weaponry. So a kind of a rotary cannon, minigun sort of thing, and also explosive ordnance, kind of grenade launcher specialization. So those are the 4 characters that your soldiers they'll be assigned into one of those, and then the decision for you will be, as they advance, which of those split pathways you want to move them down. You can specialize exclusively in one or the other, or you can kind of mix and match between the two to kind of suit, I guess, the way that your play style kind of works. Now, the classes that are available, 4 core classes as mentioned, but there are also 2 extra classes. Psi Operative, which you cannot access until later in the game due to needing to do research in order to unlock the capability of training psionic operatives. And Spark, which is a giant robot that's a robot you can have. And then in War of the Chosen, there are also 3 hero kind of class characters. You can't train these guys from nothing. You have to specifically recruit them from their different factions, and they are the Templar, which is a psionic kind of close combat specialist. The Reaper, which is a infiltration kind of stealth unit, a scout effectively, and the Marauder. That's not what it's called. Marauder. No, it's not Marauder. It's Skirmisher. There we go. It got there in the end. It's a skirmisher, that's right. And they are kind of a versatile, I guess, highly mobile. Is the kind of the role that they fall into. Okay, so we'll just talk about the 4 core classes. We'll begin with the Reaper, the Ranger, rather, and go through the kind of the abilities that you're going to be able to upgrade your Ranger to. So when they first get categorized as a Ranger, they're immediately going to lose their machine gun, and they're going to get given a shotgun and a sword, and that's going to enable them to do a melee attack where they can run in and chop with a sword, and that can happen at, I guess the bonus of that is you can double move and do a chop at the end of that. Yeah. Okay, then when you go up to your next level, so you're going to get that by default. Then when you go to the next level, though, it's going to be a choice. You're going to have to make a choice. So you have one of 2 options. So the first one is called the Scout path. The second is in the Assault path. And so one is more about sneaking about. The other one is more about just being kind of a frontline cannon. Okay, so the Scout option is Phantom as the ability, and basically what that means is that if you start the mission in concealment, so sometimes the enemies won't know you're there at the start, and then once you start throwing grenades at them or whatever, then they'll be like, oh, we get that you're here. So that's called being revealed. And in those situations, characters with the Phantom ability will not be revealed. Your alternate option, Blade Master. And Blade Master adds 2 damage to your sword attacks, and you also get plus 10 aim for shooting a shotgun. So you can see already how they're breaking this into like, do you want to be more sneaky, or do you want to be more effective as a kind of killing machine? When you go up to the next level, from corporal to sergeant, so you again, two choices. On the scout path, shadow strike, which is when concealed, gain plus 25 bonus aim and plus 25 bonus critical hit chance when attacking enemies. So basically that's meaning that your attacks from being hidden are pretty much always going to hit and pretty much always going to do a critical hit if you've positioned yourself well. Obviously nothing's guaranteed. It's Xcom, baby. But this basically means that attacking from concealment is likely to either be lethal or deal an enormous amount of damage. Meanwhile, over in the assault options, your choice is Shadow Step, which means that you do not trigger Overwatch or reaction fire. So we spoke about Overwatch being a thing that you can do to shoot in the enemy's turn. Vice versa, and likewise, they can go on Overwatch to guard against your movement. And Shadow Step means that this particular character will not trigger Overwatch or reaction fire, different to lightning reflexes, which we'll maybe talk about later. Great. So if they're moving to level, the next level, as a lieutenant or a lieutenant, depending on where in the world you are, on the scout path, the ability is conceal, which is immediately into concealment once per mission. So in missions that you begin in concealment, they don't know you're there. Enemies can't target you, or they won't look for you. They might look for you, but they don't kind of go for you or whatever. You're invisible to them. This enables you to go back into that state after having already been revealed, doing some attacks. You go back into a hidden state. Or run and gun, which enables you to take an action after dashing. So move again, fire a shotgun, for example. Move, grenade. Move, put a guy down, whatever. This is a 3-turn cooldown, so you're able to do this every 3 turns. Right, now if you go up to Captain, next level up, if you score one or more, Implacable, which is if you score one or more kills on your turn, you get a single bonus move. So kill someone and get to move again for free. So what that might look like is move, shoot, move again. Yeah. Good at kind of popping out of cover and then back in to perhaps get a vulnerable straggler or whatever. But on the assault side, Blade Storm which gives free sword attacks on enemies that enter or attack from melee range. So if anyone moves into a square adjacent to you, you immediately, as an interrupt, chop them with your sword. And yeah, this and Blade Master is like a high level sword weapon is a real game winner. I find it hard to deny, to be honest. But your mileage may vary. Next level up, Major. On the Scout level, Deep Cover. If you do not attack this turn, hunker down automatically. So that's a free hunker down, which ups your defense considerably. So you're able to dash and then also go into cover. That's a good bonus. Or Untouchable on the other side. These are the choices that you're moving between. Deep Cover or Untouchable. Untouchable is if you score a kill in your turn, kill an alien, Advent soldier, the next attack against you is guaranteed to miss. So that's pretty good. And then finally, as high as you can get, a Colonel in the Ranger promotion track. Highest two options. Option 1, Rapid Fire, which is basically just get to shoot twice. Slight penalty on your aim with that. And that has a 5-turn cooldown, so you're going to be waiting a while to do that again. And the other option is Reaper, where you activate that and you start like a chain melee attack kind of sequence. First one can't miss, and if it kills the person, then you immediately get another action, which of course can be another move and melee attack. And then if that one also successfully kills, then you get another. You see how it goes. Like you can do, if you kind of set it up nicely, you can do a significant chain of kind of ongoing melee attacks. It's very powerful. Okay. That's only one of multiple. I'm going to have to do another one of these. This is the game that just keeps on giving. That was Season 5, Episode 16, Xcom 2, War of the Chosen, Part 3. Sleepy Time Mumbles is produced by Noosed Octopus Theatre, etc. and hosted and performed by me, Dan Bain. Follow the show through the links in the show notes. But until next time, good night. Sleep tight.